Hello, friends, family, and plastic professionals alike. I'd like to welcome you to the Race 2021 conference, PlastiVan's Commitment to a Sustainable Future. Now, you might be asking, who am I? My name is Evan Morton, and I'm a Michigan State University graduate of the class of 2021, and I graduated in community sustainability. I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, and while in grade school, I had a plethora of opportunities to engage in research at an early age. This was through a company called Ecotech, and Ecotech is a science-based laboratory in Detroit that allows students to really harness their curiosity about STEM and really dive deep into topics while also explaining their topics to the community. So for example, I was able to work on bioplastics, biofuels, and other alternative resources. And that's really propelled my university fellowships and my university experiences to be able to do what I do today. And so I'm a PlastiVan educator, and as of the fall, I became the program and sustainability coordinator for the SBE Foundation. But while in my undergraduate career, I was an undergraduate researcher in the Geocognition Laboratory. I was also a research ambassador for Michigan State University, connecting students to research. And now I am a liaison for Michigan State University, connecting Detroit students to resources and research at Michigan State University. Now, you might be asking, what is PlastiVan? PlastiVan is designed to excite students about the opportunities in science and engineering within the plastics industry. Not only are students educated about the history, sustainability, chemistry, processing, and manufacturing of plastics, but we also provide science educational programming which sparks scientific curiosity within the students while also understanding the contribution that plastics have made in modern day life. We encourage them to seek careers in the engineering and the sustainability field. Now, we have some goals in PlastiVan, and those are four main goals. The first is to demonstrate the benefits of plastics in everyday life. We know that plastics are ubiquitous and that they've been with us for a long time, but that doesn't mean that there is not room for improvement. So that's what we want to get across to the students with our second, which is exciting the students about careers in the plastics industry. We know that this is a vast industry that focuses on manufacturing and recycling, and we really want to hit home to the students that you can make a difference within this industry. First comes with understanding. So we encourage the students to recycle at home and also at school, because this is an opportunity for them to have a community engagement and be able to make a change within their community as far as how can I become a part of this industry? How can I start? Well, you can start with recycling. And we also want to change the perceptions of plastics one classroom at a time. During my time being a PlastiVan educator, being able to go into the classroom or virtual and explain how we got here with plastics and how plastics are ubiquitous, it may seem a little daunting to the students at first, but as we run through the course and make it towards the end to where they can make a difference, they really feel empowered to be able to make a change. And that in turn makes me happy because it means that we are fulfilling our goals. So teaching is the aim, but sustainability is the game. Again, in the beginning, it's around the history of plastics and the chemistry, but more towards the end, we get into that sustainability side and what can you do to make a positive difference within the plastics industry? And now we also have Plastic Video, and I would like to thank the SBE Detroit section, the SBE Automotive section, and the Plastic Pioneers Association, along with a plethora of other sponsors for being able to support the development of the Plastic Video resources. PlastiVan can offer virtual plastics education to students around the world, with over 20 videos for middle and high school students, which include comprehensive plastic and sustainability topics. All of the modules are aligned with the next generation science standards, so the teachers can choose the most relevant resources for their classroom. And the most important fact is that we are trusted and proven, impacting over 100,000 students since 2014. And so some of our focus is on these graphs. As you can see, we run through the natural plastics, synthetic plastics, the processing and manufacturing, and we also run through the taking action and the future of plastics. Where we really hit home is, again, that taking action and the future of plastics. For middle school, it's all about that imagination piece. We want them to be excited about what they're learning. We want them to be able to have opportunities to expound upon their learning. But within the high school, that's when we can really engage with them about colleges, universities, apprenticeships, and different ways that they can now become a part of the plastics industry, because they're getting at that age to where they can truly become a part of the industry. So as you can see with the taking action, we have how to recycle. marine debris causes and solutions, protecting your watershed and recycling your wrap. And for the future of plastics, we have plastics from renewable resources, innovative recycling techniques, circular economy, productive reuse of materials, and sustainable material management. So all of these topics are designed to, again, get students excited about the future to where they can play a major key because, again, this is an ever-changing system, and we want them to be at the front of that system. We are also working on an after-school SPE STEM club that's going to be hosted by me. The purpose of the STEM club is to inform students about the plastics industry while engaging them with polymer science-based activities and building a science skill set. The club also seeks to advance the students within knowledge seeking as it pertains to research opportunities, networking, and event sharing. This is all for the students to, again, be engaged at a deeper level. So industry professionals like you will be able to see what they're doing so they can eventually work at your company. We seek for the advancement of students' well-being onto university and next level education. And we do this by, again, giving them those plethora of resources. As we all know, a four-year degree is great, but they can also go into community colleges and trade school with apprenticeships with your companies to be able to work within your companies and make that difference that we want to see them make. And sustainability is the key. Within this club, we are going to be going over a plethora of different topics, and I'll be getting into those topics now. So we have goals within the SPE STEM Club, and the first one is to learn different scientific processes and watch all of our 20 PlastiVan videos while they're in the program. And the students will be able to participate in our SPE contest and our polymer science fair. The main thing is that while the students are engaging with this after school club, they're going to be asking questions. They're going to be hypothesizing. So as they're hypothesizing, I want them to be able to go to the SPE essay contest so they can expound upon different resources that they use to inform their questions and ways that they can solve them. And with all of that excitement that they have from that SPE essay contest, they can now go into the polymer science fair to be able to go into a community and explain where their mind is at as far as their topic and how they came to the conclusions of having an actual research-based project. The student's portfolio at the end will showcase what they've learned along with artifacts that they've gathered. Again, these students are going to be working once a week, being able to really engage within this polymer science-based activities that we have with them and the different resources such as guest speakers and activities that we have that really showcase what they're going to be learning. So the students will be actively engaged with the plastics and polymers industry through internships, virtual presentations, career opportunities, and sponsorships. Again, we want the students to be really engaged with the field. And in order to do that, we need industry professionals like yourselves to be able to see the students, excite the students, and let them know that they're here for a reason, and that's to possibly work for your company in the future. Some of the activities that we have lined up are: what is science in our environment, the scientific method, recycling and bioplastic, community building, and how can I make a change, and much more. Again, this is all about community, right? I want the students that are going to be engaged with the program to understand that the person to your left and the person to your right, they all have the same goals as you, which is to advance and be individuals that can make a change. And if I can convince the students of that, there is nothing that they can't do. So the first step is, again, to connect with the school, and then we can teach the students through this club. And we'll also be changing their perception at the same time, because they're going to be critically thinking about the topics that we're going to be talking about and engaging with, again, industry professionals like yourselves. So that's when we can enter them into our connections and events, such as the science fair and the essay contest that we have. That gives them more exposure. And through that exposure, they will feel empowered to make a change and make a difference. Again, we're dealing with middle and high school students. So while they're at different levels in education, they're still going to be able to have the same impact of, wow, I can make a change and I can make a difference because somebody believed in me. We also give away grants, which is the Arkema Research Grant. So in 2021, PlastiVan and Ecotech Labs created the first ever polymer science fair for students across the Detroit area to have an outlet to express their research topics. And students have also presented at our STEM Day. Students were able to showcase the research project in tandem with PlastiVan sponsored activity. And this was exposed to over 300 students and parents. And those same 5 school students has received grants of $500 to continue their research within material science. The best part about this was that I was there through the whole process, and being able to see the students research first, what are their topics and how can they engage with it, all the way to now you're presenting it on a platform where people are listening and engaging, was an amazing experience. The students were able to get grants and they were able to have more funding for their research to continue what they love and what they like. So again, thank you, Arkema, for being able to believe in these students, because they are amazing students and we can't wait to see what they come up with. We also partnered with other outside organizations such as SoundWaters. SoundWaters was founded in 1989, and they focus on environmental education and protecting Long Beach Sound and its watershed. Annually, SoundWaters hosts shipboard and land-based programs for over 32,000 students, and SoundWater is working on a NOAA grant. They have support from the SPE Foundation, the World Design Organization, Braskem, the Ultra Poly Corporation, Penn State, and Van Dyke Recycling. And SoundWater's goal is to foster responsibility for the environment and encourage action that ensures sustainability. That sounds a lot like what we do at PlastiVan, which is changing the perceptions one classroom at a time. And again, one of the ways that we change perceptions is by being able to partner with other organizations that are a part and aligned with our mission, so we can make a difference not only for the future, but for the students that we are impacting today. We also helped with a project which was bottle caps. Now you might be asking, what is this project? Within Long Island Sound coastal city of Stamford, Connecticut, students were aware of the plastic problems caused by the mismanagement of plastics. This was on a community level and on a global level, because we now have internet and Twitter and so many ways to get information at us firsthand. So within every middle school of Stamford's public school, students were studied to the effects of what microplastics are and how they affect us with SoundWaters. And in the year 2019 to 2020, SoundWaters challenged students to act on what they've learned to create unique applications with top engineers and industry designers, as mentioned in the previous slide. So the end goal was to create a solution for the local and global plastic problems. And the students aimed to collect over 1 million bottle caps, and they're aiming to beat that number this year. As you can see from the picture, one of the students were actually able to create a tray that houses different dishes. That's just one of the ways that the students were able to be engaged in thinking, how can we reuse, reduce, and recycle? And how can we upcycle as well? So not only did they collect bottle caps, but they made something unique out of it. And so we have a call to action within PlastiVan, because we are committed to teaching students about the plastics and polymers, but we also want to focus heavy on the sustainability side of the industry and truly get students engaged in what we're doing. We understand that the industry and the world that we are living in is constantly changing. There's always innovations, there's always something new. And we want the students to be able to have the opportunity to not only learn about it, but be those innovators. We want the students to be on the forefront of innovation with our full support and companies' full support, just like you. I want the students to understand that I was, I am, and I will be. Those are powerful words. I was an undergraduate researcher, and I was able to work on research while I was in grade school. And now I am a plastic professional within the industry, and I will continue to be the best version of myself that I can be for the students, because it's all about the next generation. Am I right? It takes a community. So why don't you become a part of ours today? And you might be asking, but Evan, how can I support PlastiVan? Well, I'm glad you asked. The first step is being able to speak to the students. The students need to see faces. They need to see opportunities. They need to see people just like yourselves engaging in your field and talking about it. So create those opportunities for the students. Come into our classroom. Speak about what you're doing and your experience to your field. Give them virtual presentations and virtual field trips to your actual facilities. And even in the future, when the pandemic is over and we feel comfortable, give them opportunities to be able to come to your company and come to where you work so they can truly see it happen in full form. And you can also support PlastiVan with company partnerships. Again, we are very gracious to our sponsors for being able to help us throughout not only the pandemic, but since we've started. So if we can have more of that, more engagement, and focus more on the community and what the students need, not only will that help us and help you, that will help the students become the best version of themselves that they can be. And that's what we all aim for, because again, it's all about the next generation. And I'd like to say thank you for being able to tune into this presentation today. I hope something was said, something was expressed, maybe the hand movements, something was elaborated for you to be able to have our call to action and help us help the students. Because as I always say, we want the students to be empowered. I was a student in grade school and I had opportunities leading all the way up to where I am now. If there could be multiple students following that same path, there's no doubt that we'll have the next generation of innovators, scientific inquirers, and thinkers ahead of us. So let's get started today. And I want to say again, thank you for tuning in. My email is emorton@4spe.org. The website is www.plastivan.org. And why don't you also stop next to our Facebook and feel free to give us a follow and a like, as far as being able to share our posts and being able to express to your community what we do and why we do it, and most importantly, why we love it. Thank you so much for tuning in and have a great rest of your day.